Video cards have come a very long way since the first beginning at the late 90s. Right, we have come from single core to all the different kinds of super many transistors and all the big crazy die sizes, and don't forget the RTX 3090 with its crazy 350 watt TDP. But we're gonna dial things back a little bit and we're gonna go through another episode of walking down memory lane. So this is the AMD HD6950. This belonged way back in 2010. That is, if you're watching this in 2021, that is about 11 years ago. So we're gonna take a look at what this card is and can it still perform in today's world. Hey guys, this is Chester here. You guys are watching our channel right here at Chester and Unboxing. Today we're actually taking a look at old school hardware. This is actually used to be one of my favorite cards back in the day. So, but it's not specifically mine. I just bought it because the same model. Yeah. So anyway, this is the AMD HD6950. So back then in 2011, right? This used to be hot and loud and fast. Yeah, these three things. This used to be like the motto of AMD cards back then. Hot, loud, fast. Damn! Is it hot? Yes. Is it loud? Yes. But is it fast? Also yes. So back then, right, there's this cheat, right, back in this generation that you can actually flash the HD6950 with the 6970 BIOS, and depending on the card, right, you can get the 6970 BIOS working on this card. So you basically just unlocked free performance. But if they didn't guarantee anything and it was at your own risk, so if you break the card, so be it. But talking about breaking the card, so there's actually two BIOS switches. So nowadays the cards don't really come with that, but back then AMD cards, they used to have two switches, so switch number 1 and 2. So in case one of your BIOS profiles are screwed, then you can actually fall back to the second position so that you can actually have a working card and not just have a paperweight. And yeah, this is heavy, right? So talking about it, right, this card actually has this card was actually built on a 40 nanometer process way long ago. Now it's like 2.64 billion transistors, and more importantly 1408 processing cores. So yeah, this card runs at 800 megahertz, and memory wise is at 5 gigabit per second. That's effective. So megahertz is 1250, around there. But back then they didn't really have that boosting feature that you see on nowadays cards. So the clock rate that you see that you adjusted is the final clock rate is static. 2 gigabytes of memory, GDDR5, and 256 bits of it. So pretty okay, not really top end, but good enough for medium to top. This card has a TDP of 200 watts. That's a lot. Yeah, 200 watts, and runs on two 6-pin connectors. Okay, so talking about the slot, right, we actually have quite a lot of slots. So you have 2 DVI, 1 HDMI, and 2 mini display ports. So back then, one of the defining features of this card is you can actually run it in infinity mode. So that means that you can actually hook up multi monitors and run it as a single widescreen. Yeah, back then, things like super ultra wide and all that kind of thing didn't exist yet. So the only way to get like ultra wide and big stuff is to connect multiple monitors. Nvidia had this in their surround, but they are very strict. You can only use the same card, and it's 3 monitors, identical resolution. So with this one, with AMD, you can actually run different models of the same series, so 69 series, and you could actually hook up different number of monitors, so 2, 3, 4, all the way to 6, depending on the number of ports on the card. So this is 5, so you could technically run up to 5 monitors. Not that you could, you should, but you can. So that was the defining feature of Infinity. In fact, that was actually the reason why I bought this particular card, because back then I was crazy with running 3 QHD monitors, I remember. So 3 times 2560 by 1440. So I actually got this to hook up 3 of them. So yeah, there was a lot of adapters and dongles and everything. It's crazy stuff. And back then, if you wanted double, you can just use the crossfire fingers. You can actually put another card, then you can run them in crossfire, and you can actually get almost double the performance, but also a lot of problems lah. So you gotta give and take. That was back then lah. So this card is actually dual slot. It's actually strictly dual slot. So you can see, right, this is the IO bracket, and it's dual slot. It doesn't extend more than that. Yeah, nowadays the cards, because we don't really use multi cards anymore. So nowadays the coolers are like crazy, like 3 slot, 4 slot. Yeah, but back then it was quite the norm if you are an enthusiast. So card designs were actually limited to dual slots, almost all of them. So the length is quite long actually. The length is 11 inches. The height, it is about 5 inches around there. So 5 inches, 11 inches. 11 is very, very long. So a bit of comparison, right? 11 inches is about the same length as my GTX 980 Ti MSI gaming. So that is a big card. So this is about the same length. So it's actually very, very, very long. It's a blower style. So this is a reference design. So blower style means that all the hot air gets pushed out the rear of the case. So that is good. This card is good if you are, you know, running in like small systems, or if you are running crossfire. Yeah, but that means that it is freaking loud. Later I'll show you a clip on how loud it is. Okay, so we're going to be doing some testing. So just a bit of disclaimer first. The driver version of this is Catalyst 15.7.1 on Full HD max settings. Alright, so let's move on to Dota 2, our favorite game. So Dota 2 on full settings, it runs at about 59 FPS, 76 degrees, that's max, and RAM consumption is about 870 megabytes. Not too shabby, yeah, given that this is freaking 2011, right? So moving on to Sleeping Dogs. So Sleeping Dogs Definitive Edition, it runs the benchmark at 46 FPS, 81 degrees Celsius, and 985 max RAM. So pretty good, but 46 is a bit low, so you want to dial it down instead of like max settings, and just dial it back a bit. Okay, moving on to a more intensive game, Batman Arkham Origins. You have 41 FPS, 81 degrees, same, and consumes slightly more than 1 GB of memory. So as you can see that this card, it is a little struggling, and those games are not exactly, you know, like the latest ones. So if you're going to run this card in now 2021, yeah, you're gonna have to, you cannot run on ultra settings anymore, and we're talking about full HD, right? So you're gonna have to run them about medium to about high settings. Yeah, so you should get at least 60 regardless of whatever scene the game is playing. Alright, so that's about my recommendation for this card. And yeah, it's loud. So you can see in the clip, right? If I dial the fans to manual, you can hear it ramping crazy. Like give it a hearing. Yeah, that shit is crazy. It's loud. Yeah, but back then it was fast. So no complaints there lah. Yeah. So anyway, this was our throwback of the AMD HD6950 graphics card. Yeah. So like this video if you liked it. Let us know if you all like this kind of like throwback videos where we actually take a look at some of the older last gen tech. So maybe you guys like it. So if you guys like it, let us know, then we will do more of it. So we might not just do graphics cards, because the first one was actually the GTS 450. We might do more like phones and stuff like that. So let us know, and yeah, keep us updated. Like this video if you liked it, subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so yet. I'm Chester, that's all for today. See you guys.